Monsanto introduced Roundup Ready soybeans in 1996 to give farmers a way to spray their crops with glyphosate herbicide without damaging the plant. This innovation was widely accepted by conventional farmers in the U.S. and revolutionized soybean production with higher yields through better weed management practices. Now, almost 2 decades later, farmers are seeing more and more instances of glyphosate-resistant weeds.
Over the last 5, 6, maybe 7 years, we've begun to see harder to control weeds, those that were more difficult to control with Roundup, become resistant to that technology. As you can imagine, over the last decade or better of a farmer using Roundup Ready, now that he's got weed issues, weed resistance issues to face, he's very eager to find new technologies that allow him to continue to manage his weed concerns.
By allowing farmers to use an herbicide in addition to glyphosate, Monsanto's Dicamba soybeans and Dow AgroScience's 2,4-D soybeans could solve one of agriculture's biggest problems, glyphosate-resistant weeds.
In a lot of states that produce a lot of corn and soybean, it is the biggest problem. So if that wasn't there, I doubt these technologies would even be in play right now. But it is the case. And so, for example, both Dow AgroSciences and Monsanto have decided that their technologies could be a tool that could deal with that problem and control these resistant weeds.
Although Dicamba and 2,4-D could increase productivity through better weed control, many organic farmers are concerned.
What wakes me up at 3 o'clock at night and keeps me awake for the rest of the night is thinking about the viability of our farm if those crops are approved and released.
Organic farmers worry that their crops neighboring 2,4-D or Dicamba-ready fields will not survive any potential herbicide drift.
Organic crops and 2,4-D and Dicamba-ready crops cannot coexist.
Margot McMillan's pasture shares what used to be a lively corner tree line with a conventional field used for soybeans and corn.
That corner, up until 5 years ago, was very healthy. Those big trees that we saw were leafy and pretty and good. We sort of called them sentinels for that corner. And then just a couple of years ago, I would say in the last 3 years, we've really seen them start to die.
Margot attributes these trees' deaths to neighboring farms' use of pre-plant herbicides.
What happens is the 2,4-D and Dicamba are defoliates, so they take the leaves off. They just sort of burn the leaves away, and then the trees don't have nutrition to keep going. So then the trees start to die, the bark comes off, and then they're blown over pretty easily after that.
Farmers like Margot are concerned that the introduction of 2,4-D and Dicamba-tolerant soybeans will increase the use of herbicides from pre-plant use to year-round spraying.
When there's a genetically altered plant that will resist those chemicals, they will spray more often. When that happens, of course, they're going to use a lot more of these chemicals. And that's really what I think farmers are, or what people like me, organic people and consumers are worried about, is that there's going to be not just the amount that's there now, but a huge, larger amount.
Organic farmers are not the only growers concerned with potential crop damage. All crops without the new genetic modifications are at risk if neighboring farms spray 2,4-D or Dicamba.
Not every grower is going to adopt 2,4-D, or not every grower is going to adopt Dicamba. So you're going to have fields that are, one farmer might be planting one kind of variety and another might be planting another, and they're in very close proximity, and that has risk.
Extension scientists like Dr. Bradley and Monsanto and Dow AgroSciences researchers are working on strategies to address the potential drift of 2,4-D and Dicamba for when the tolerant soybeans hit the market. These strategies include usage regulations, farmer education, and voluntary awareness programs.
I think as in any other technological advancement, we have to know how to steward it and manage it. At the same time, as you look at what benefits the farmer will see in enhanced weed control, I believe that we have the responsibility to educate the farmer on how to use these products appropriately. And I believe that with today's technologies, the concerns that most people have put forward with drift or volatility for phenoxy-type herbicides can easily be overcome.
Improved herbicide application techniques can also help reduce risk for 2,4-D or Dicamba drift.
A whole lot of work into nozzles and things like that. And so I think what you'll see on these labels when they do get approved, if they do get approved, is specific guidelines for using certain nozzles that are going to reduce the potential for drift dramatically.
Monsanto and Dow AgroSciences believe the profitable benefits to farmers thanks to weed control outweigh the potential risk of 2,4-D or Dicamba drift. But people like Margot disagree. She believes there is more to her farm than profitability, and that the trees her farm lost cannot be measured in dollars.
I can't give you a dollar amount, but inside, you know, the idea of why we're here or why the planet is here is diminished after a kill like that.
Both Dicamba and 2,4-D soybeans are under regulatory review from the FDA. They hope to have an approval decision by the end of 2014.